What is going on, guys? So today, since Oda decided to bust out a fantastic chapter, I get to spend this morning talking about it, making a video related to that. Before we get into that, I would like to mention that I actually anticipated that I would release 3 videos this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. However, and that still might be possible, but I would like to mention that not just is St. Patty's Day on Sunday, but also my birthday is today. So I'm probably going to be ingesting massive amounts of alcohol over the next 3 days. Probably not tomorrow, but I would imagine I will be incapacitated for the most part tomorrow. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get out 3. Hopefully I will be able to get out 2. I would imagine at the very least later tonight I would be able to make a minimum of 1 video for Sunday. So hopefully that is okay with you guys. I will try to get back on a 3 video schedule for next week if I can't this week, but that's all I wanted to say. So getting into the chapter, it was a very good chapter. It was kind of like there were a lot of different pieces of the plot that were in it, and we got only a little bit of each, but there were so many that it still added up, and those little pieces were actually pretty big for how few pages each of them took. So just starting out in the beginning, and this is what the title is referencing, something that I was looking all over Reddit and different communities of whatnot for One Piece, and nobody, and I mean nobody, seems to be mentioning the fact that Raizo and Kawamatsu's speaking was done in thought bubbles. Now, I asked a few members of my Discord about this because I was like, guys, no one's saying anything about this. And one of my mods, Fen, said, well, that is in a lot of the time manga how authors will show that people are whispering. Now, okay, I took that with a grain of salt, and I asked another one of my mods, Syed. I asked him what he thought about this, and he says, well, I don't think it's whispering, but I think that that might mean that they're communicating via some kind of ninjutsu or something. Okay. I'm more concerned about the whispering because if it's whispering, then nothing really matters. But I've never heard of such a thing. I don't know if you guys have. Zayad said he's never heard of that. Fenroar does seem to think, though, that this is whispering that's going on. I don't know if that's a thing, and it's really just something I'm not familiar with. So I apologize for doubting this if that is something that's pretty common. But to me, that doesn't really make sense because a thought bubble just means that you're talking in your head, right? Why would that also mean that you're whispering, and how could you really tell which is which? I mean, you could kind of tell if someone's having a conversation, I suppose, but I've just never heard of this, and I don't see why it would be the same format of a bubble, right? So, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, if that is whispering, then it's whispering. All right, I'm just an idiot and just fucking dislike the video. Okay, if that really is whispering. But I personally, when I was reading this, I'm thinking like, are we seeing a devil fruit in action here? Like, do one of them have telepathy? Now, I'm not really sure which one of them it would be since I would originally have assumed Kawamatsu. However, it was pointed out to me that he is kind of being foreshadowed here to have the Kappa fruit, which is real. It's an actual thing, not like the meme Kappa. It is a mythological creature. Mythological creature? No, mythical creature in Japanese culture. It kind of seems to be like a turtle, monkey, fish or something. I don't know. I didn't really look too much into that. There wasn't that much information. It didn't really seem that interesting, and it definitely didn't seem very powerful. So I don't know. What I do know is that this guy's laugh is like cap pa pa pa. So I don't know. That could be it. And he's kind of being referred to as like an it up until this point. So it would make sense that he's some kind of zone, and that's it really. I don't know. Maybe he's not a Kappa, but assuming that he is, he probably doesn't have this telepathy fruit then. Maybe Raizo does. And, you know, Kinemon and Kanjuro both have had devil fruits that have been shown, so I could very well see Raizo having one too. Maybe it is ninjutsu, maybe it's a devil fruit. I would really prefer it to be a devil fruit because I honestly, the telepathy fruit's a little overdue in my opinion, but whatever. I don't know. It makes sense to me that it would be the telepathy fruit, and I'd be really excited if I was right about that. I wouldn't think I'd be so excited. It's just that I haven't seen a single person talking about this, which is probably due to the fact that they're whispering. But if they're not, then I'm a little excited about it. So, yeah, just wanted to put that one out first, since that's the first thing chronologically that happened in the chapter. Actually, it might not be chronological since a lot of the different events in Wano so far have been going on at different times. So sequentially, I suppose. That is the first thing that happened in the chapter. Next point is Queen is fucking awesome. I really do like Queen so far. He just seems to be having a good time. I don't really know how to explain it, but he reminds me of some character that I can't think of the name of. It's just when I was reading this chapter, seeing him dancing around and whatnot, he reminds me of, I want to say it was like that game Wario War that came out on Wii really early on in the stages of Wii. It was just this really fun game, and there was this one like boss that you had to beat where all the levels and stuff was based on him just like dancing, and it was really weird. I really don't know where I'm going with this, but it reminded me of that, and I got really excited. So I really like Queen so far. Something I don't understand about the collars is I would imagine that someone at Luffy's level would not really be threatened by these collars, and this would also go for the ones that the Celestial Dragons use. I would think that he could just use armament hockey and not have too much of an issue, right? I would think that if it was to try piercing him, it wouldn't go through because he could just use armament hockey. Now, of course, that would be only a temporary solution, and there could be a lot of problems there, but I'm surprised that wasn't addressed, or even Luffy was like, well, I mean, I might not have too much of a problem with that, but I guess we'll just have to see on that one. Another thing, what is Queen thinking by taking off Luffy's handcuffs? I don't really understand that. I guess it might not be that common of knowledge at this point that Luffy officially defeated Katakuri. I would think it would have reached them by now, but I don't know. Maybe not. I would think that if he did know that, then even before he had his little training arc here, you would think that you would want Luffy to be wearing sea stone cuffs at all times, because I would imagine, including Queen, Luffy is probably the strongest person currently in this prison. I think he could probably beat Queen. And as far as the other people we've seen so far, I mean, they're getting knocked out by Conqueror's Haki. So I think everyone else is just fodder. And it would come down to Luffy versus Queen, which I don't think Luffy's going to lose. I really don't think it'd be that tough of a match. I don't think that Luffy's stronger than Katakuri right now. I think he's really close to that. But I think Katakuri is significantly stronger than Queen. So I don't really know what the thought process here. This kind of seems like it's going to be a complete blowout. Now, the question is, if Luffy does end up going through this whole tournament and end up fighting Queen, and he defeats him, does that mean Queen is going to, like, release him? I highly doubt it, but I'm interested to see where that goes. So, don't know what Queen's thinking. Luffy is going to be even stronger than he already was. He might actually be at Katakuri level now that his sea stone cuffs are off. So, holy shit, that is a crazy thing. Luffy's Conqueror's Haki panel was insane. Just that little panel of him smiling while using his Conqueror's Haki. That face was really good. Not anything crazy about that, but just I really enjoyed that panel. Amazing expression. The Sanji meme was quite high quality, right? Him being in the bathhouse was really good. I guess a lot of people predicted that this would be happening, and I'm a little sad to say that I didn't even consider that when in the last chapter we saw them in the bathhouse. It does seem kind of obvious in retrospect that, of course, he would already be utilizing that ability, especially since we hadn't seen him. So it makes sense that he would be there. But I really wish I had thought that, because it would have been really exciting to see that come true, because it was really funny. I feel like there's going to be like a minority of people that are going to just really not like that. And the reasons I dislike Sanji is because of his obsession with women and whatnot. Like, something I'll never be able to forgive him for is severely putting the crew in danger in Fishman Island because of his nosebleeds. I mean, it is pretty funny, but like when you say it, it's funny. But when you're actually reading it for the first time, at the very least, it's like, I mean, this is getting a little too ridiculous. But this is more innocent, and it's not really innocent. It's actually quite the opposite. But it's not like really putting anyone in harm, and it was just really funny how he got knocked out from it, even if it's just temporarily. So I thought that was really high, especially considering just the seriousness of the situation, right? We have Hawkins and ex-Drake coming in here. Ex-Drake, I currently think, could defeat Sanji. So it's quite a serious situation, and he really just relieved that quite a bit. That was really good for me. Another thing too. So, like, are we just gonna have all of the members of North Blue in the worst generation, or anyone from North Blue, I guess, just fanboying over Sanji? Is that what we're doing here? Because Law, who has very little personality, at least positive personality, showed quite a bit of emotion when he saw the stealth black suit for the first time. He was very excited. He said, he read all the comic books and everything. So there was that, and I thought that was just one little cool thing that happened. But now we have Hawkins and Drake getting really excited about Stealth Black. So I don't know if this is just going to become a meme where everyone from North Blue sees Sanji and is just super excited. I love it. I personally love it. I think it's great. I love to see the boyish kind of side of these complete animals. It reminds me of Luffy, really, which is a good thing. Luffy, Frankie, Usopp, Chopper, right? I really like when you have these just monsters who, they're not that old yet, right? They still kind of got this boyish side. So I really do like that, especially with how serious X-Drake seems to be about the whole situation up until that point. And then, of course, he gets knocked out, too, by Nami. So that was pretty great. That was fantastic. And lastly, we have Benkei. Benkei, I believe it is pronounced. Maybe it's Benkei. Benkei. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's Benkei. Yeah, I don't really know too much about this guy. I kind of looked into it, based on the thing that we had at the end of the Jaminas box translation. So I guess that it's just an extremely common myth or folktale or whatever you want to call it. It's just this guy that runs around with like 7 different weapons, and I think that he like took a lot of swords from a lot of samurai or something in feudal times in Japan. So I guess that's kind of cool. He's just really popular. A lot of people seem to think that he is supposed to be Gilgamesh from Final Fantasy, if I'm correct, which is not exactly untrue, because from my understanding, Gilgamesh from Final Fantasy is based on Benkei. So I guess there's that. I don't really know where we're going with this. I would imagine that Zoro's going to completely annihilate this guy, but maybe not. Maybe he's actually really important. I would think that we would have heard of something related to him up until this point, but I guess not. Hopefully he actually finds a really cool weapon among Benkei's stash. That's not even his name yet, technically, but that's basically what he is. So hopefully Zoro does find something cool, some new weapon. Not that he really needs one at this point, but that would be fairly nice. That's the last thing that happened in the chapter, so that's all I really have to say. I really did enjoy this chapter. Oda got me a good one for my birthday, so thank you very much, Oda. If you guys have made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to leave me a comment letting me know what you thought about the video if you enjoyed these little review things I did. I don't do it for all the chapters. I only do it for the ones that I particularly enjoy or there's some huge plot point that happened. And in this particular case, I had the joy of having a little bit clickbaity of a title. Although I really do believe that that's a devil fruit. I mean, I don't know. When I first read this, I was like, I read this at like 7:30 this morning, so no one was awake, and I'm like texting my friends and people on Discord. I'm like, guys, is this what's happening? And no one's responding to me because everyone's sleeping. So I had to go with my Eastern moderators I had to talk to. Unfortunately, not that I have anything wrong with my Eastern moderators, but I didn't have a lot of people to talk to, and I still don't have a lot of people to talk to, and I'm really excited about it. So make sure to comment about that in the comment section, because I want to know what you guys think about that. I think it's very good looking so far. I think it's looking good, I should say. I think it could be a devil fruit for sure. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have an excellent rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your St. Patty's Day. And hopefully I'll talk to you guys very soon.